Welcome back to the MVP podcast. My name is B-man. I'm here with Sosa dripping in the sauce. What are you telling me, boss man?
I am blessed, man. I'm just happy to be back, man. Happy
we
Eid for everyone who's celebrating.
This is coming out tomorrow. So yeah, it's coming out Thursday. We're recording on Wednesday. We're a bit late, but obviously Eid and that.
Yes.
Did you do anything nice on Eid or what?
Would you believe it? I spent time with the family.
Hey, so did I.
That's what we've been doing for the last 2 months. So nothing new.
Okay. Well, I don't live with my parents, but
That's fair.
I bought flowers and that. I bought a cake that no one ate, by the way. I bought the cake anyway, and then that's it.
Aren't you a good family member, a good son and that?
That's
Getting
what I
cake for
do.
family.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Anyway, do you want to plug it in right now?
Oh, guys, like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Share with your friends. We do appreciate that. All the love and support. We do
Tell them
appreciate
to
that.
hit that subscribe button.
Yo,
just
listen. I'll only be that guy telling you to hit things. Yeah, I'm not telling you to promote violence or anything. If you like it. If you love it, great. Leave a comment. But yeah,
wicked.
Listen, I don't be the YouTubers that tell you to smash this like button, man. Just if you like it, like it.
Smash. Give them 5 seconds to hit the like button now. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. You lost if you haven't liked the video. You lost. Anyway, man, this is the final episode on our Jordan, what do we call it? Jordan series? Is that what we're
I guess you call it series.
Yeah. So the last 2 episodes dropped. Give me your feel for the last 2 episodes, like the overall feel. Or as a matter of fact, never mind the last 2. Now that it's over, give me what did you make of the whole documentary? Like,
well,
if you could give a small synopsis.
It felt less of a Bulls documentary and more of a Jordan documentary. It highlighted so much of the good things of Jordan and everything that he was able to do, like from his first few seasons at the Bulls, his struggles, how he became Rookie of the Year, how he became the best player in the league but didn't win anything, and his progression. And it kind of just sprinkled in the rest of his teammates throughout the whole thing. Like
Whatever it mattered.
Yeah, for real. It wasn't a Bulls documentary. It was a Jordan documentary, and it really came apparent like a couple of episodes in, but these last 2 episodes, I think it's encapsulated by the phrase, "I took it personally."
Yeah.
I took it personally.
That's all we really saw.
Well, how do you rate it so far? Well, the whole season, like as a whole, what would you say as far as like what your takeaways are?
Do you know what? If I'm being really honest with you, do you know what? By the end of it, I was gassed in the beginning. And do you know what? To be fair though, it wasn't meant to be a Bulls documentary. It is a Jordan documentary. The whole thing is based on Jordan, right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what? I had this image of Jordan in my head, which kind of, if you want to, obviously it's blasphemous to say this, right? But he was like, within the basketball world, he's considered like the god. He is the top Donnie, basically, right? And I genuinely believe, one, I'm still not in the camp of, I still think he's the greatest. You can't win 2 3-peats in a row and not be freaking amazing, right? Well, we'll come back to that later. But that documentary brought Michael Jordan back to earth for me. And I'd rather have not had that moment where I was like, okay, I get it. He was ultra competitive, but tell me something else that I didn't know. I thought that was the point of this whole documentary. It's like it was gonna open up this whole box of information that we never had. But I knew most. As a matter of fact, the only thing I didn't know was the fact that it was not a flu game.
Yeah.
It was a food poisoning game. Why did he not tell us that before? I'm really confused here.
I think everyone just took the myth and just ran with it. I don't think anyone cared for the truth at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't.
It's weird, man. It's the whole like I get where you're coming from. The mystique of Jordan, like it
Yeah.
was less a case of like we didn't learn anything new. But I'll be honest with you, Michael Jordan was a guy that was considered like his mindset was just unparalleled. He just wanted to win. He had that determination.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if this documentary it showed how determined he was, but it didn't show me. Yeah, it didn't show me as I think you can say the same. Anything that we didn't know already.
Yeah.
Like he was the intense, ferocious competitor. Like we knew he had like a gambling problem. We knew that his early team sucked. We knew that he pretty much forced his teammates, bent his teammates to his will, and that's you don't expect anything less from Jordan, man. The guy's mental. Like
That's what I'm saying.
the guy's nuts. He's like that. He's not normal.
Yeah.
Let's just put it out there. He's not normal.
Do you know what? But he is. But the thing is, he is normal. This is what bugs me the most, right? Is to say that Jordan always wanted it more than anyone else. I refuse to believe that there's a basketball player in the NBA that doesn't want it. There are some that are in a really bad position that know that they're not going to do anything. Don't tell me that although Kawhi Leonard is a quiet character, that he's not dying to win. Don't tell me that Giannis hasn't got the same hunger to win. The only reason why everyone uses that excuse with Jordan is because he was winning. That cannot be the standout factor that makes Jordan different from everyone else. It doesn't. He is not the ultimate competitor. There are ways.
It's not about.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say it's not about him. I get where you're coming from. There's plenty of guys that are competitive and really want to win, but this documentary showed how like it was to a fault. Like it became nasty.
Yeah, it did.
Like
really
it became real. Like
really did.
like this is not. If this is what winning is,
like, bro, not interested. That's exactly what the hell I'm saying. Do you know what? They were asking on ESPN. They were having this conversation. It might have not even been ESPN. I saw it on Instagram, and the question was like, "Who?" As a matter of fact, it was the last podcast that we dropped. What are the chances, right?
link in the description. Go check that one out
right now. It was, and Naeem asked Bridget Case,
yes.
what type of leadership do you prefer? And is it the guy that will drag you to the finish line, or the communicator, the guy that gets everyone involved? But I would never want to play with Jordan. I would never. If I had another option to take, I would take it. I would not want to be on a team of a guy that, let's be honest, puts himself above everyone else. And you are not, no one is important. If he can replace you, if there's someone else better than you, Jordan will put you there. The only person that was safe throughout the whole thing was Scottie Pippen. That is it. Because Jordan knows for a fact that he would never be able to get someone on his level on that contract. No way. There's absolutely no way.
Well, I mean, that's the real question. Like, would you want to go through that, knowing what he put his teammates through, if it meant you got your championship? A lot of guys would say, you know what, I'll take that.
Yeah, but the reality is, for one, they'll never be credited any of those championships. They'll just be a team member that played, because Jordan is the number one guy, right? But I don't want to be in a position where I only get the ball when there's literally no other choice, really. I don't want to be involved in none of that. No way. Again, that documentary it didn't live up to anything that I thought it would. I actually give it a really poor grade.
I think as documentaries go, I think it told some stories that were interesting, and I do take away less about what Jordan did, but more about his teammates
Mm,
and like the struggles that they went through. Like not only like did like they had lost family members, they were dealing with stresses at the time, multitude of things that they went through, and their constant was this team.
mm,
Um, and it's split into two, especially the guys. Like I think in the was it the ninth or the 10th one where they're talking about Steve Kerr, and he the way that he wanted to be like he was a winner in himself, but you could tell that how he was then and how he is now as a coach. He like people think that he's a nice guy because they see him in interviews, but when you see him like on the bench on the court, this guy's screaming his head
screaming,
off and he's
shouting, yeah.
biting the heads off his team of his star players, and like that's I don't want to say he gets it from that, but like he's molded in that shape.
Do you know what? I don't think the screaming and shouting came from Jordan, you know.
I don't think it
That's
is, but
that is that's a Popovich thing, man.
do you
That's a
reckon?
pop thing. Yeah, that's a pop thing. But you know what? There's a difference. There's a difference between shouting at someone during a game and trying to rile them up as opposed to being vindictive. I felt like sometimes Michael Jordan, off of the documentary anyway, seemed very vindictive with how he treated his teammates at times.
As far as I would not want to be in the same training session as Michael Jordan ever, ever.
but what was your favorite part of what was one thing that you really enjoyed from this documentary? Well, one thing that
The Rodman story still get me, man. Like
well,
the like
he went to
like
WWE.
he you know what's crazy? This is, I'm sure my age now. I remember him on WCW, man.
Do you?
I remember that. I was like, what, 10? I was 10 at the time. And I remember I was like, that's Dennis Rodman. That's the guy on my poster on my wall.
No
I know him.
way. I
I
feel
was
like
like,
it's come full circle.
it's so full circle. It has. And I was like, that's the crazy guy that I know. And then I didn't know much about basketball as far as like, who was winning the titles at the time. But I knew who Michael Jordan was. And I knew who Scottie Pippen was. And as a third player, I knew who Dennis Rodman was.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the rest of the team members that they had. And I thought Dennis Rodman was a more of I know he's an impactful player, but I thought he did more for scoring because of
No,
the way he acted, because of his
no,
outlandishness.
no.
Oh, this guy,
Bro, did
complete
he
different
not
intensity.
have a game where he had no points and 22 rebounds
Was it 22?
or 24? Some stuff like that anyway. So it was in the 20s, 100%.
I know he averaged more rebounds than points,
Yeah.
like which is just nuts.
But you need that though. You need that. I always say you have to build a successful NBA team, the pieces have to be right. Now, the Golden State Warriors are exempt from that because they're like a massive cheat code on their own. Because they had, to be fair, no, not even. They're not even a cheat code, actually, as a matter of fact. They actually fall within this. Is that I believe in a starting five, a title winning starting five, right? You need a superstar scorer, the guy that, the leader, the guy that takes over when you need it the most, the guy that will take the brunt of the criticism, right? You need one. At most, you can have one more 20 plus scorer. At most. I don't think you can have more than two. The likes of Chris Bosh is a massive example. The likes of Kevin Love is a massive example. So that third guy needs to be someone that has a speciality in something other than scoring. Or if it is scoring, that scores with the minimum amount of touches. For example, your Klay Thompson doesn't need the ball. The guy just needs one dribble to make 20 points. Do you hear me?
Mm.
And then the other two that are on the court need to be role players. And that's why Dennis Rodman was such a big thing. He didn't need to score because Jordan was that guy. Jordan was scoring 40, 50, 60, 70. And then if you need another 20,
Yeah.
you got your Pippen. And then you get your Dennis Rodman, who defensively is an absolute animal. So I think the way that team was built, I think that's how winning teams are built. You need two standout superstars and a bunch of specialists.
You're not wrong, but I can't imagine I can't remember a time where a player averaged more rebounds than they did points. I can't
Oh,
remember like
mm,
to that extreme. Like you might have the odd time where a guy averages like 8 or 9 rebounds and a couple of points in the game, but to
yeah.
average like 15 rebounds and like less than
Yeah,
10 points,
there aren't many people
there
like that.
just aren't any.
I was gonna say maybe Andre Drummond because he averages so many rebounds, but he averages a lot of points
He
as well.
averages like
Yeah,
like like
18,
like
18, 19 points.
18 and 18 or something like that. Like
Yeah,
he'll average a fair few points, but just to literally grab a board and then just throw it and just not concern yourself on offense, just get the rebound.
he's crazy.
That's a mindset. Again, that's a mindset of someone who's just like, I don't know if it's focus or drive, or he's just so narrow-minded about what he wants. He just, look, I'm getting that board. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
Like
By the way,
that's
I keep looking up, right? And it's because there's a moth in in the living room. I hate moths more than anything in the world, brother. I hate them so much. They're hairy little, and I don't want
have
to
you got the
sweat.
have you got the studio lights on in your house?
Yeah, I do.
That's probably why.
No, but it's not. Yeah, it probably is. It's probably going crazy as well. Ah, I hate moths. It's hairy. Oh, ah, I hate them. Anyway, let's continue, right? Let's continue. Let me ask you, Jordan or LeBron then?
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan or LeBron, man?
If you want to win, Jordan.
No. I want one straight answer, and I want you to tell me why.
One straight answer.
One straight answer, because otherwise you can shift it to be neutral. I don't want to be neutral right now. You just need to.
Oh my days, bro. I'm Switzerland, and you know this.
Well, today is that time to be the United Kingdom, my brother. That's to pick a
Okay,
side.
okay, all right. If I'm gonna have to pick, gun to my head, I'm taking MJ. I'm
You
taking
take an
MJ.
MJ. Fair enough.
The reason being is because it's just
He
okay.
won 6 rings. He was in six
He's
finals.
yeah.
I hate all these stats. I hate every single one of those stats.
It's not
None
it,
of those
it
stats prove that he's better than anyone. I hope people realize that. None of those stats
it's not
prove that he's
about
better than anyone.
it's not about the stats. It's for what he will do in order to, like I said, if it's about winning. And at the end of the day, if you're talking basketball, you play to, like, all right, you play for exercise, this and that. But
Yeah,
if it's your job, you play to win. You don't mess
yeah,
around. You don't play around. Okay, let's see who can get the most points. Let's see if we can get a flashy dunk or a flashy assist. No,
yeah.
you are going there. You're trying to rip the heart out of the other team, and you're trying to win. So if you want to get someone to take you over that hurdle, or get you into that conversation of
I get you.
win this to win it, that has to be
I get
Jordan.
you. I get you. I get you.
Who would you pick?
I would know, but I would still take Jordan, right? I would take Jordan, but people, once you have this argument, right? Once the argument comes out about, well, who you pick, LeBron or Jordan, and the arguments are always the same. Well, Jordan has got 6 rings, never lost in the finals. Don't care about that, by the way. I will never measure that as greatness, because if that's a measure of greatness, then I am more inclined to say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar deserves to be above him. Someone will say, well, he used to dominate games. Brother, there's been plenty of players that have dominated. LeBron James has dominated games. Okay, well, some people might say, well, LeBron lost 6 finals. But do you know how hard it is to get to the finals in the first place? To be in 8 straight finals is not, it's not a knock on LeBron. That's an accomplishment. Brother, he went to the finals 8 years in a row. We were talking
Yeah.
about the fact that Michael Jordan had to take a break after 3 years because he was tired of winning. Do you get me? LeBron went the distance, 8 seasons in a row. And in those 8 seasons, not only did he also play for the Olympic team, brother, the guy he is a business savant on top of that, right? Again, I still pick Jordan, but I pick Jordan purely on one reason and one reason only. And that's the number of all defensive teams this guy has been in. That is the
Yeah.
one standout thing for me. That's the one standout thing for me. But at the same time, I feel like the media has put Michael Jordan on a pedestal that you just cannot come off of. And I feel like the media
No, you're right.
has created this narrative where everyone is just regurgitating what they've said. Everyone regurgitates everything they said. LeBron James is unbelievable. If anything, they are here. They are here as basketball players. They're like this, alongside your Magic, alongside Larry Bird, alongside Shaq, alongside Kobe. These guys are supreme. If you're picking gun to head, Jordan, I want to win. I just want to win. But when people have this
I
argument,
fully agree with you.
yeah, when people have this argument, they make it seem like there's such a gap between LeBron and Jordan, when in fact, brother, they're practically right next to each other. That is the reality of the matter. They're right next to each other. So
You know what? Like, and that's the thing. That's why you can't just, if you ask that question to someone, that's why they're gonna ask. That's why they're gonna put caveats and saying, well, what's the situation? Are we talking about X, Y, and Z? Are we talking about in a one-off playoff game? Are we talking about building a franchise around? Are we talking about from the start of their career to the end of their career?
yeah.
That's why the question itself is so hard to judge. Like,
true, exactly.
we can only pick one, so we're forced to choose one, but that's not lessering the other one.
Exactly.
I was gonna say that from what I think this was mentioned in the video before, but for the rings that, because we can't just say MJ's rings, they're the Bulls ring, like the Bulls championships.
Exactly.
They're the Bulls championships. But the fact that in the first three-peat and in the second three-peat, Jordan is one of the guys that's constantly through it, and Pippen is the only other guy that went through it with him.
Yeah.
Everyone else switched out.
Yeah.
So, like, in a scenario like that, it literally is Jordan and Pippen. Like, you can have those two together and say, look, those two are the reason for that team winning. Everything else was just moved around them, but they're the two constants.
Yeah.
But as far as like with opponents and that, like, again, you're only as good as the players in front of you. So if you beat them, then you're the champions. Can we talk about the last? Can we talk about the last game?
Yeah. Well, before we do that, right? Can I also just say?
Okay.
Can I also just say that it's not? Sorry, it was never a big two. It was a big three. You left out one name. You left out one constant, and in my opinion, probably the most important constant. Phil Jackson.
My apologies. Phil Jackson. Yeah.
Phil Jackson. That is,
Phil
by
Jackson,
the way,
100%,
that's one thing LeBron has never had in his career ever, which is a world-class coach. He has never had a world-class coach on his team, ever. He had Eric Spoelstra when he was new. Then he went to the Cavs where they rinsed through 3 or 4 coaches. David Blatt, Tyronn Lue. I'm sure there was another guy before David Blatt that got sacked as well. And then now it's Jason Kidd, and to be fair, Frank Vogel's probably the best he's ever had, and that's saying something.
Yeah, that's actually no. I mean, him or Spoelstra. Spoelstra is probably one of the ones as well.
Not then though. Then he was extremely inexperienced. Then it was a lot.
I suppose, yeah.
He was he was a good coach. Sorry, I shouldn't say that because they won rings, right?
Because
he wasn't like your high end coaches. Now he is. Back then he wasn't.
No, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
If there's anything that showed MJ in a light where he, by any means, like, he was the guy to just take control by whatever cost, is that final game against Utah, the game 6 against Utah. That guy. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it live. I've ended up having to watch it back, and this guy has put up a superhuman level of sportsman, like, of level of competitiveness. I've never seen anything like that. The only thing that I've seen that comes close, I think Bill Simmons mentioned it. The only thing that comes close is LeBron James versus the Golden State Warriors. Was it 2018, where the JR game, where he had 50?
Yeah.
Like, the fact that the beginning, not even like halfway through, the beginning of the game, the first play, Pippen goes up for a dunk, and Jars is back, and then he's out of the game, and then he comes. Like, can I ask, have you ever seen anything like that, or did you ever know of a situation where guys just said, you know what, I'm going for it at that level?
What with an injury like the one that
Well, no, like
people, or
for
someone
what?
that was put in that position that Jordan was put in.
Yeah, the position that Jordan was in,
Nah, not that I can think off the top of my head. No, I
because
think the best. I think
it's a level.
actually, if there's one, but he ended up losing. I think, or did he win? Is Isaiah Thomas when he sprained his ankle against the Boston Celtics, and he never went off and he continued playing.
Yeah, that was mental. That was
Yeah.
mental. You could see him limping as well. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yo, this guy's still going.
Yeah, he was gone. His ankle was gone. Let me ask you this now. Should they have had another dance?
Yeah,
They
yeah, they
should have
should have.
really,
They should have.
shouldn't they?
How? Like,
What,
it's so stupid that they didn't. Like,
do you know what irritates me is that no one had a conversation and you just ended it. I would have preferred to have known that maybe, let's say, Pippen decided himself that he wasn't going to come back. Because he said the whole year, I'm leaving. At least then we can attribute it towards someone. We can say, well, the reason why they didn't do it is because, brother, Pippen dipped. Without Pippen, it's not worth it. Even I would have told Jordan, like, yeah, walk away from the game now, because without Pippen, you ain't winning it like that. I can't see it.
and can I ask? I don't know if you know this, but when Pippen left, it wasn't a sign and trade. It was just a straight. He just left, wasn't it? They didn't get anything in return.
I thought he got traded.
He was on. He was at the end of his contract.
I know,
Like
but
he was a free agent.
I think it might have
Was
been a sign and trade. Do you know
because if
what?
it
I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check it out. Go on.
because like, here's the thing, yeah, and this is my thinking of it. So once you check that out, I'll have a little chat. If it was a case of he was a free agent, will he be willing to take just a 1 year deal to stay with the team if it
What?
meant going for another year, knowing that if they lost, that would diminish his value on the open market for new teams to try and sign him? Because that's a really big dice to roll for your future, especially knowing how he was going through and he wanted a payday and he didn't get one. Like, you've got to ask yourself, is it worth like potentially losing out on that payday, knowing you've already got 6 rings, like to get a seventh? Is a seventh really worth more than your financial security at that time?
Yeah, exactly. I
Like
would
everyone else would come back.
I would have. By the way, he did get traded. He got traded to Houston Rockets for a year.
Oh, see, so it was a sign and trade.
For and when I tell you what he got traded for is absolute garbage. By the way, the one
What's
not even
going
going
to
to
be?
talk about. We're not even going to talk about what the hell they got back for him. But that was poor, poor. It doesn't even say how much money he signed for.
They didn't stop rebuilding after that. They were in constant rebuild for like almost 7, 8 years.
Who?
The Bulls.
No,
They
they've been doing it since they were until Derrick Rose came. Really,
when did Derrick Rose come? 2008?
was it 2008?
No, 2000. No, 2010. I can't
It might have
remember,
been.
man.
It might have been. It might have been. It might have been.
But that's what
Anyway,
I'm saying. That's how long we're taking. Like that's how
yeah,
long we've been rebuilding. Obviously,
that's what I'm
other
saying.
teams have been rebuilding longer.
I want it so badly. I wish they just had the concept. I feel like I have no closure. I feel no
Yeah.
closure. That's what it is about this documentary. I feel like I've not learned anything. Nothing about Jordan. It didn't. The story is just so flawed. The way they told the story, the videos they put in, everything. It was just, it was a money making scheme. That was a
You
money
know what?
making.
I don't know if it was. You're right about it. It didn't give closure, but I think it was less about the story. I think it was just more about the fact that they didn't have time to just complete it in the way they wanted to. Like apparently before the thing got released, they hadn't even finished episode 10, and episode
Really?
9 was still in the works. So that's how you know, like the ending was
Ah.
rushed. So that's probably why they didn't feel like it was like a full complete
It
story.
wasn't good. If I had to list like all the like 30 for 30 episodes, I don't think this would crack my top 10. Anyway, we're gonna have to put a stop to it then now. So do you wanna
Yes,
end it off?
guys. I told you one thing. I'll tell you again. Guys, if you like the video, please like the video, share with your friends, subscribe if you're new. We do appreciate it, guys. Please, if you get to this point in the video, if you get to this point, I know it's a long ass video. Sorry for my language. But if you get to this point in the video, put down MVP podcast the GOAT. That's how I know you got this far.
I like that. I like that. I really do. I really do. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll be back again soon. Peace.